What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest. I almost said Star Wars podcast. We all know this is a Star Wars podcast.
Well-oiled machine.
A podcast.
I didn't even do it this time.
I just looked at you and my mind glitched.
Didn't even do it.
A Star Wars podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 106, being recorded April 14th, 2021, which is I think to date, is our 4-year anniversary of us actually getting together and doing our very, very, very first podcast together. So,
happy anniversry, boys.
Seriously?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, how did we not talk about that up until right now?
I mentioned it last week.
Yeah, way to go. You didn't follow up. I didn't see any posts or anything. I forgot all about it.
Because we did our 100, and I figured that was a big celebration as it was, and this is just
fair.
us, press and play. So
That's fair.
I guess.
That's fair.
We are also 20 days till we wait in line for the Bad Batch. We wait for that premiere, May 4th premiere. Also, speaking of May 4th, if you are in the local area with us in Victorville, the High Desert, Southern California, we are doing our trivia night. It's back this year. We are doing it at the bar called The Social.
Yes.
We have the flyer up in all our social medias, and I actually will put it in our description below also, so you guys could check out. Please come back. We're going to do trivia, giveaways, drinking. It's 21 over. It'd be fun. We got to bring that back because we had a blast doing it.
And just keep in mind that if you do show up, it is a toy drive. So we're trying to give away some toys. We're not quite sure who we're going to give them to just yet.
Right.
Toys for Tots is not quite a thing yet.
Right.
So we're looking at like the United Way. We're looking at all the different charities up here. Maybe the Battered Women's Shelter, something like that.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Well-oiled machine. We're ahead of our time.
Well-oiled machine.
We have time.
Ahead of our time.
Just give us stuff. We'll figure out what to do with it.
Nice.
That's kind of how this came about. They contacted me and said, "Hey, we want to do a thing." Okay.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
So here we are. We're also working on getting the 501st out there. So the 501st been contacted. They're interested. They might show up. So
Cool. But we've had
And
them
with
out
the
before, so
501st
it's a good time.
Yeah, they've come out.
Yeah.
yeah. And you never quite know. They might show up. They might not show up.
Right.
You might get a Jedi. You might get a Sith. Who knows? But come on down.
Exactly. And before we get into the pit area, we have our
Yeah.
Patreon list we want to kind of give a shout out to because we have some new Patreons.
We do. We've got Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour podcast. He has now joined up. We've got Donald Sulsky, and I believe he's from the Escape Pod podcast.
All right.
That's awesome. And then, of course, we've got our tried and true Rebels and Lions, is Crystal Lamphere. We've got Brandon Epler. Sorry, Brandon.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
AJ Herrera.
Not me this time.
I know. I'll
Give
take
it a
the
minute.
blame.
Give it a minute.
That's right. And Dora. Good old Dora.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the Escape Pod, I got these in this week, guys, and I hadn't seen you yet. But they sent us all sorts of stickers for from their show.
Oh, nice.
And from our Red 5 network.
Oh, dude. Nice.
So I meant to have it behind me somewhere, but it's been a long day.
And I think Gavin is going to come on the show next week, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Gavin Connor's scheduled to come on next week.
Awesome.
He's a musician and really good musician too. So
Cool.
I look forward to having him on.
Awesome. And let's check in with our pit.
The Sarlacc pits. We've got Gordon. Gordon's in there. Mando Mike is in there. Santo 1414. Good old Cliff is in there, ready to give you crap at any minute.
Of course.
Of course. We've got B. Rivera, who's from one of the Chatmigos.
Nice,
He's one of the Chatmigos.
nice.
And yeah, so that's who we've got in there right now.
Awesome. And I am your host, Darth Butcher, and I'm joined here with Scott Solo, the one who's been doing the nice shout outs.
What's up, nerds?
We got Chris, Darth Dad 77.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh. No. Clown.
We got Bootleg Joe here with us.
Happy anniversary, boys.
And the Fallen Fed, Ernie.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going?
All right, cool. Before we get into, we have kind of a cool little discussion, a little talk and everything. Chris, as you know, as our lore master, and he's reached out to Del Rey Books and Lucas Arts or Phil, right? And he is on the approved list for book reviews.
They came looking for us. They were like, Chris, we hear that you guys are interviewing all sorts of cool people.
Yeah.
No, I reached out and said, can I please get free books? And they said, sure you can.
And then it was, please, 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 please,
Yeah.
please, pretty
Yeah.
please.
I was like, hey, you guys keep saying I'm getting it. Like 47 emails later, a restraining order, and 3 phone calls extra to my lawyer. I got drawn ascendancy, the greater good.
So week before it comes out officially.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, a week and a half right now. I think it was in the mail, and I haven't been there in a few days, so that was my bad. But I'll be reading it this weekend, getting it through, and getting a review out on
awesome.
There's an embargo until the 20th, so after that, I'll put a review out.
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty excited. That's
Yeah, no, that's
fun.
It just feels good to get a little recognition there.
It's like we're Star Wars media, so we get stuff sent our way to get our opinion, so they can fix stuff.
Right.
So we have a podcast. We'll have a podcast on the 21st. Does that mean we'll get like a non-spoiler review on our show, and then for the full spoiler review, you could do one of Chris's hot topics?
Yeah, this all sounds like a dandy plan.
Write it down. That's a good one.
You write it down. You're the producer.
Oh yeah, I have to write that down. Awesome,
Yes.
dude. I can't wait for that because that's the next book in the trilogy, right? The next trilogy.
Yep, and the next one will come out on November 16th.
Nice.
So just like that, I'm telling you, they're coming out fast because he's showing up really quick.
Well, yeah.
December is when the Disney Plus shows start back up after Bad Batch, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So you get this book out in November. That way you have Thrawn wide open and done with his 2 trilogies by December and ready to fly.
Awesome.
And then you have his whole story.
And speaking of Disney Plus, I'm going to go on to the rumor mill real fast. Do you guys remember a show that was being produced by Seth Green called Detours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess that rumor has been heating up for the past couple of weeks. If I remember right, it wasn't a Robot Chicken-esque show, right?
It was real life people within the Empire. What real life would be. It's like a sitcom within.
Really?
So you'll have Vader kind of like in it, but he's maybe at his house or something. But it's that kind of stuff. It's regular people, I think, within the universe with the main characters going around.
Really?
It's goofy. That's what I heard.
See, this has been tried before.
Which one are you talking about? Which one is it called again?
It's called
Detours.
Detours.
Yeah, so we had a couple that actually went out. It's more of like a Mad Magazine looking, very
That's
animated
the look,
style.
for sure.
Yeah, and it's animated style, but then like Chris said, it's so it's not Robot Chicken with stop motion or nothing like that.
Right.
It's more it's computer animated, more Mad Magazine looking. But then, like Chris said, it's your everyday, almost like a Lego-esque type.
Yeah.
How the Lego jokes come in,
Okay.
but even more adult and more so.
Right.
I mean, the ones that I've seen were hilarious. So that's cool if it finally gets a green light.
Yeah, I mean that's the rumor heating up, right?
It was 55 episodes coming to Disney
Right.
Plus is the word. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That's cool because they're shorts though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
Last week
it might work better as shorts because they tried this with DC on TV with the cleaning crew or something like that. It was the company that dealt with the world after superhero fights took over, and it didn't work. The show didn't work, and it was canceled pretty quick. So I'm hoping they do a little bit better.
That was
with
kind
it.
of
But the good thing about Disney Plus is it's not like they're going to get canceled. It's just one shot. Here's 55 episodes.
Right.
It's already done. It costs us nothing. We own it already, or it's going to cost us very little.
Right. That's
Screw it. Somebody will watch it.
right. Like they did with the vintage collection there. They just kind of like, here's these things, consume it.
Yeah.
And last week we kind of mentioned a little bit like what else was out there, and Robot Chicken really kind of went over my head. I forgot all about it because it was George Lucas's approved. I mean, it would be an awesome thing for Disney Plus to put Robot Chicken unedited and unfiltered.
Yeah. Right.
I said it would be cool.
Yeah.
You know
No.
what I mean?
Confirmed. Put it on the
right.
on the Robot Chicken coming to D Plus. Do it.
That would be amazing, though. I mean, why wouldn't they?
After Kathleen Kennedy's fired. Make sure to put it in for the clicks.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that was it. That was like the thing that I've been seeing more and more pop up.
Well, there's our clickbaity title: Robot Chicken coming to Disney Plus, confirmed,
unedited.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
and underneath it, Kathleen Kennedy fired.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Again.
that's how you get clicks.
That's it.
George
Dude,
Lucas is
okay.
coming back.
I hate to give the guy any kind of air, but he got another rumor out this week, and I was pissed. I'm like it went mainstream again about Keanu Reeves being Revan.
Oh,
And
really?
I'm like, who posts articles based on what this guy says? Stop it. So
Right.
just for record, that's dumb. This guy's an idiot.
Yeah, we decided to have some fun this week, right? We like doing the list and everything. We kind of like coming up with certain things to come up with.
And we picked a super fun topic.
Yeah.
Like party time.
We sure did, man.
Everybody in chat, get ready. Get your choices prepped.
Yeah, so we're going to have a cool discussion on the top deaths. Death scenes, death characters, just deaths in the entire Star Wars umbrella. This could be video games. It could be books. It could be comics. It could be the movies and all that stuff.
Nothing off the table.
Nothing's off the table this time. Like when we put, you name it, well, it's on there.
Off the table.
It's really cool because at first, like when we discussing this topic, right? I'm like thinking, okay, growing up, I was really kind of like happy that nobody really died in the hero world, that nobody died in the trilogy, right? We went through this thing where the heroes were introduced and they came through this whole conflict unscathed, if you will, right? Just the bad guys died and everything. That was kind of cool in the Star Wars world, right? And then, of course, the prequels came and killed off a lot of people. Sequels killed off our heroes.
Bastards.
Yeah, and it just kind of snowballs from there. Now, besides, again, so there's some, like, how I like to approach it is like the meaningful, the dramatic, the sad, the epic, right? Like, Blaze of Glory. Who went down Blaze of Glory? With this death due to kind of like propel this entire plot point and everything. So it was kind of fun to go back and rethink about all these things because it's so easy to go boom, boom, boom.
Well, it was. But how many times did you change it after you did boom, boom, boom?
Oh yeah, I did it. Put it down. I'm like, okay, I can explain this one better, or this one, like, again, with those categories of myself, like more emotional, more meaningful, more epic, more sad, and stuff like that. So. Again, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I tell you what, I changed it up until probably maybe an hour ago.
Yeah,
I switched it around. Like, damn! And from the beginning, I had them set. I'm like, oh no, guys, I got my 3. I'm done.
Right.
And it switched and switched and switched. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of death in Star Wars. There really are, and there's a lot of cool deaths. There's a lot of meaningful deaths. There's a lot of dumb deaths. There's no matter what you look at, there's a different category. There's a lot of death you can choose from.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I'll come up with 5 more I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Since we're sitting here thinking about it.
I know.
We won't even touch them all going through the 5 of us.
No, we won't. We won't. I guarantee we won't.
We'll do our top 3 around the circle or square or whatever, Pentagon. We got whatever the shape is, right?
Right.
and then we'll come back for honorable mentions at the end, right? Because we're gonna have a lot of them, I'm sure.
Exactly. And chat, get your suggestions
and the pit.
too. So
make sure the pit's in.
Thank you. Yes, and Cliff was saying that he. Along with that, like, he can't believe, like, Ray should have lost a hand too, because that should coincide with someone losing limbs. Maybe a limb lost episode would be good too.
That would be quick though. It would be like, no Skywalker. Skywalkers are off the table.
Oh, geez.
Right. Yeah, Cliff, she's not a Skywalker, so
that's half of them.
Exactly.
Well, let's see.
Han Solo lost his
Bondo Baba. Yeah, Bondo Baba. Yeah.
Han Solo lost his spine.
At least a vertebrae or 2.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, Scott, why don't you kick it off here with your list? You're gonna share a screen, right? You got visuals?
Share a screen.
You guys did visuals?
Well, Scott did. I didn't.
I'm just kidding. I did.
So my number 3 is 5s from Clone Wars. I mean, that was just
5s was pretty sad.
Yeah, that killed me, man. That just sucked. Just emotional. I mean, the poor guy, he figured it out. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
He could have ended it all right there. He could have saved everybody, but no, of course not. We knew how it was going to go.
Yeah, and we talked about this too, how kind of personal that we got with the troopers as the show went on, because at first they were just fodder, right? Even with the going back to the Clone Wars show that's on Disney Plus right now, they barely talk. It's fodder. It is, and now we got more of a human-esque element to it, and every death on a clone trooper really was,
It's amazing that they could do the same actor and get so many different characters with the same voice, right? It's what's the split movie like that? You can just do all these different personalities with one character just jumping around. It was great because you loved them all in a different way or hated them or whatever you did. It was just like, damn, really good job with the writing and the acting.
Now, my number 2, most people would probably think is number 1, but it is not. Here is number 2.
That was what I thought your number 1 would be. I had that as your 1.
Yeah. That scene took my breath away. I'm sitting there, okay, number 1, Harrison Ford is back. He's back in Star Wars. You know for a fact it's written in his contract that he wants to die. He wants his death to happen. He wants it to be memorable. That's why it wasn't such a shock. But the way it happened, I knew Kylo was going to do it. But how it happened, the emotional back and forth between the two of them was just...
Yeah. I saw it coming. As soon as that light went out in that scene, I put my head down in the theater. The first time I see it, I go, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. This is it. It just kind of, because you exactly what you said, and we talked about this when we stood in line for that, The Force Awakens, and was saying, like, Harrison, we're preparing ourselves for Han Solo's death. And for the longest time, I was like, well, this is the scene. We just fast forward this scene. We in fact, never show this scene again. You know?
No, I love it. I love this scene.
I love
it. It means a lot more. Now, this is one thing that, I'm sorry, Scott, but this is one thing that The Rise of Skywalker really brought back full circle.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say.
I should have just let you talk. Sorry.
The full payoff was in Rise of Skywalker with the repeating of the lines back and forth between the two of them, and the way it should have gone. For me, Rise of Skywalker, it's my least favorite of the sequel movies, but that scene puts it. Still keeps it towards just that scene from the moment they ignited their lightsabers and started dueling on the Death Star to the final scene where Ben throws his lightsaber hilt into the sea.
Right.
To me, that is pure cinematic magic.
It was.
I just absolutely love that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? If I was I haven't rewatched it. I almost did the other day. I'm seriously, I'm just not bringing myself to bring it up. But I wanted to see that scene. I would just do that.
Right.
Yeah. And then my number one is. Dum, 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 dum.
I know this one. I know it. Yep. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, dig it.
Yeah.
Kanan Jarrus, season 4, episode 9 of Rebels.
Epic.
Epic. Oh, I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
Seriously.
The dude is blind. He's just battered, bruised, beaten. The only way he can save everybody that he loves, a Jedi who loves and uses the Force properly, who doesn't go psycho, sacrifices himself to rescue everybody.
Oh, he did again, one of the most Jedi things ever.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. And I just my words cannot.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it.
And it was done so well too, man. It was done so well with Ezra watching and just like.
You know, we never talk about it. I know we've never discussed this. You think he knew Hera was pregnant?
Oh. You think
he would have had to sense it, right?
Right.
So I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, he's like saving everybody right there. Not that it mattered any extra,
was pregnant.
Yeah, you know what though?
She told him immediately.
Yeah, she told him. He didn't sense it. Was I'm saying like.
There's this whole problem though with sensing the Force in characters in Star Wars and the prequels and all that, because in the original trilogy, the Force is strong with this one. You know, you could sense the power of the Force and everybody. And the prequels, you would think they'd continue with that, but instead they gave it a biological thing. And all of a sudden, it wasn't so much sensing the Force as it was. I'm gonna shut down my screen here, buddy.
Okay.
It's not so much sensing the Force as it is, taking a blood sample and saying, "Oh yes, he is strong in the Force. Yeah. His immunoglobulins are great, and his midichlorians are high."
Right.
They had to fix that in the Clone Wars again when like Anakin could saw. Well, that was in the Clone Wars, the Swarovski version when he said that, right? The Force is strong with this one, so they could sense it, and that was Lucas. Still, it's weird, right?
Right.
Because that was in between the two prequel movies, and they still had that. Why wouldn't you throw that in there? That was
nice. I knew that. I knew that was your number one. I knew it.
Did you?
Yeah. It was almost like if it wasn't, I'd be disappointed.
Okay.
I think what Gordon in the chat said the best fake death was Chewie in the Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Best fake out death. And Mando Mike. Who said it? No, Brandon said Duchess Satine was his.
Oh, good one.
Had the.
All right.
Yeah. That goes for Obi-Wan's love. Going
absolutely.
Into it.
Absolutely.
Hey, real quick, playing off of Kanan's one, their son is like a forgotten character. Like we never even talked or theory craft about him showing up in the Ahsoka series.
Not yet.
Or in Mando or something. Like
he shows up. He's mentioned in the Alphabet Squadron books.
Okay.
Hera's the leader, the general, right through the books. And she mentions it and how she wants to get on with her life and retire and raise her kid and all this stuff. So it's totally possible that he could show up because we're going to see Hera. We know Hera is going to show up at some point in this fight for Thrawn. So
Right.
Yeah, I would think Jason would show up too. You would think so.
Yeah.
It was kind of we never spoke about it. It was kind of forgotten, because of, I mean, we said the whole crew, but that was such a shot at the end, and to end it with, oh my God, they had a kid.
God, you're right. He could totally be there.
Right. That was crazy. As soon as you mentioned that, I was like, whoa, we haven't talked about that at all.
He'd be pretty young. He'd be still about the age, because he was pretty, he'd be about 7, right?
About 7, yeah.
Yeah, about 7 or 8. Yeah.
There's opportunity there, is what we're saying.
Still a meddling kid. Still good to see.
How far is Mando again? 4 years after?
6 years after Return of the Jedi.
Everybody's got
6 years after Return, or 10 years.
6 years after Return.
And he's almost 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, awesome.
Nice. All right.
In that new academy.
Right.
No.
Another friend of Grogu.
Now you got it. There you go. Now I'm in. Now that's right. Jason's in. Jason makes sense now in there. That's totally it.
Nice.
And then and then we find out later Kylo killed them all.
Oh
man.
Right.
That's vicious. I love it.
Let's
vicious.
Do
that. Yeah.
There you go.
And totally doable.
That's all my top 3. Everybody who Kylo killed in that class.
He saw
Just the bodies on the ground.
Jason.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You don't realize that's them. That's them.
I'm done. Yeah.
Let's go with Joey next. How about you, dude? Top 3.
Top 3. My number 3 is Darth Maul's death to Obi-Wan.
Oh.
That's my third one.
The final death.
The final,
right?
In Rebels. Right. Dude, Rebels came through with some death. Some
Rebels
stuff. Yeah.
Rebels?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta take mine off the list. That was one of mine.
Yeah. Just for the simple fact they're two straight up mortal enemies.
Yeah.
And they had this honorable fight, and his death, it was like an honorable thing. It wasn't like something vindictive. It wasn't something like done out of anger. It was just they fought, he lost, and he had like an honorable death.
Yeah. It also was a closing of a chapter, an era there too.
I had an episode of Hot Topic where I talked about how they're a mirror image of each other, right? Where they were almost the same age the whole time. One was just pure evil and one was just pure good.
Right.
They were just along different paths the way they were raised, one by the Jedi Temple, one tortured and sold and whatever else to the Sith. And I mean, it's crazy how two powerful beings like that just set on different paths and ended up ending in the same path. It was pretty. Yeah. Their whole story together from beginning through Rebel's death is phenomenal.
It is.
It's probably one of the best rivalries in the entire saga. So yeah, that death is dope.
And my number 2 is also like Scott, Han Solo.
Yeah.
And
that one's got to be very, very dramatic. I mean, again, we
I mean, you can't get no worse than your own son killing you.
That's right.
I mean,
and the way he did it, and what he told him, and then Han's reaction.
Han totally thought he was making a change in his kid's life. He was bringing him back.
Yeah.
And looking into his eyes as it happens.
Yeah.
And like, man, and still loving him.
Touching him on the face where he's about to get the scar.
See, and this is the thing, though. It's like, was Kylo really sincerely, was he really that emotional about it? Like, he really didn't want to do it, but he knew he had to?
So.
Or was it like he was just not faking it, but being...
No, I think there was sincerity in that. Like, there was conflict in it because that was, Snoke even said, that's your final, that is your true test. That is your final test, basically. And he passed
Snoke even told him, Snoke told him, I don't know if he passed it necessarily, because Snoke told him, look at you, you're broken, you're
look what it did to you. It broke you and,
very true.
That's right.
Very true.
Oops. And my number 1 is Darth Vader.
Very good.
Yeah, that's the the epic conclusion of Star Wars is Darth Vader's death.
Yeah,
that was Luke tucking him in for bed.
Yeah, hands down. That's
spoilers.
That iconic as it could be.
Darth Vader dies.
Well, Darth Vader,
kind of.
Anakin ceased to be Darth Vader, which died.
But yeah, that's my top 3.
Awesome.
Great.
I'm gonna piggyback that. I'll piggyback my list here. I'm not joking around here when I say this, but
I know now. Because when you were 7, this affected you
exactly.
hard.
Thank you.
I know where this is going now.
I don't know the dude's name, but the Ewok that died in the Endor.
Nanta.
Yeah, Nanta. Thank you.
When Eric Aranya was on our show and he was saying he was sculpting that figure, what did he call it? Was it Deathy or Killy? Or
I think it's Deathy.
Oh no, it wasn't Deathy. I need to text him and see what his.
Yeah, get that, because I'm telling you, dude, like, the Ewoks are so fun back in, especially when we were kids, and to see the horrors of death, I guess, as a 7-year-old kid, and I thought it was
that's the one good guy you mentioned. The good guy is really not dying. Yoda died really peacefully, right. So for that, as a 7-year-old kid, and knowing how Return was for everybody at the time, shocking to see that. Shocking to see that, and then I think it's not necessarily it's the reaction of the other Ewok, like, come on, and then I'm like, oh geez, man. He was trying to get him to go. Like, come on, you're right. That was a hard one to swallow. Like, you have all these epic ones, but there's some things in Star Wars that really bring, like I said, the horrors of war to the front to your TV, and Lucas did a great job at that. So frying Ewoks is pretty jacked. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like. We always talked about, like, if Ewoks were in the sequels and not in the original trilogy, would they be as accepted today than they were back then? No, they don't accept anything. Probably, right? It'd be like a whole disaster, right? Anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. My number 2 was Kanan. So Scott took that from me because, again, there was, out of all these other things on there, I couldn't take it off. I just couldn't, because like I said, I watched it the other day again, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, meaningful. Like, the other one was sad. Yes, thank you. Poetic, and which goes on to my number 1 too, which was Luke Skywalker's death in Last Jedi.
That was almost my honorable mention, but there was something, the way it all went down, there was something so predictable about it. Yeah. I was in the theater, and when it happened, I was like, oh, all right. You predicted he was across the galaxy? No, not that he was across the galaxy.
You thought he was going to die there?
I thought he was going to die. Oh. I knew he was going to die at the end.
Yeah, I didn't. Like, I seriously.
You think we going to die?
Yeah, I really, after we got that revelation that he wasn't there and he's meditating, he's floating, and then it took it all out of him, and then when it had that far shot, and then he just disappeared in the cloak, that was like. And again, I wasn't sad. I wasn't like, I wasn't either. I was like, yes, hell yeah, he's one with the Force. He's gonna be the biggest thing in Rise of Skywalker.
And no, he catches a light.
You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna train her as a Force ghost.
Yeah,
this is gonna be awesome.
I thought that was, again, how everything should run. We're gonna have a council
of Force ghosts teaching her, all of them.
You know what though? I really do. I maybe predicting and disappointment is wrong. I think I'm with you, Marco. It's more along the lines of I wasn't sad about it because, of course, that would happen. Yeah, of course that happened.
Yeah.
But again, without his death, we wouldn't know that Leia continued on and trained Rey and went through all of her Jedi training, which that was one of the cooler parts of Rise of Skywalker.
Like I've told a lot of people, Last Jedi, to me, has some of the worst scenes in Star Wars and some of the best scenes in Star Wars. And that is one of the best ones where I could not, look, it does not overshadow all, like, the other epic, meaningful deaths in Star Wars and all this stuff. It's just that one that was, I guess, more, it was supposed to mean a lot more than what they did with it. At that time, I thought that was the best scene, hands down. I kind of still do, like, as far as, like, Star Wars, like, just very emotional, iconic, and again, good for his role. He did a 180 again, going back to the good and all that stuff, or you know what I mean, like, trying, getting back into the fight, in his way. So those are my 3.
Awesome.
Ernie or Chris, which one?
Ernie, go ahead.
Okay, so my number 3 is kind of all mine will be like honorable mentions at the end too, because I love how a lot of the deaths led to something.
Right.
So, like, I agree with all your guys's. Like, for me, the Han one wasn't so much Han. Like, of course, that's epic. But, like, the reaction to Chewie.
Right.
Oh,
that's
the scream. And then he shoots him.
Yeah.
And then that fight where Kylo kept hitting himself after.
Yeah.
Because of that is like, you know, a reminder almost, you know what I mean? Like you're carrying a burden type thing. That's what I always felt about the deaths. So the ones that I chose.
He still needed to hit himself to feel pain to get even darker. He didn't turn dark enough after killing his dad to be able to unfeel that pain. That's how jacked up that was, right? It didn't do it what it was supposed to do.
He needed more anger. And
correct. Yeah. So the whole hit, the scream, I mean, we saw people fly from that bowcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He took it and then hits himself. So I just wanted to put that out there because I totally agree with that one. But sometimes I agree, like, because of what they brought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're right. Sometimes the reactions are more sad than the deaths itself. Like, I would say, you know, like I said, the fake out death, Chewie's death. I mean, that got me. But Rey's reaction that she killed him, that got me even more. Like Chewie's reaction to Leia dying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The way that she screamed made us go, is this for real?
Exactly.
Did they really just kill Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Because of her reaction.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so my number 3 is actually, it's just a funny one because I thought, how cool is that they mentioned her and they brought her in, but Aura Singh.
Yeah. that was
that right.
It's good.
To hear that name that we know who it is, and then he says, "You killed Aura Singh." And it's like, what?
Technically, the fall killed her. I just pushed her.
That's why. It's like, oh crap, this dude's gonna be cool. You know what I mean?
like that.
We first had to accept Woody in that role,
right?
And he totally Beckett. He was Beckett,
right?
You know what I mean? Which was cool. You see the father figure to Han, basically, in this short amount of time.
Yeah.
So to hear a very cool answer like that was like, you kind of, you know where he got, you know, he wasn't already cocky enough to live up to.
It's like Indiana Jones when he gets the hat from that guy. Same kind of energy.
Exactly. Right. So that was very cool to hear.
It was the best off-screen death in Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't a slouch. Right, so it helped out Beckett, like you said. It helped build him for us because if he killed Aura Singh, she wasn't a slouch. So.
Right,
correct. So I love that. And then going off of the same one again because of story wise, the death of L3. That
okay.
Good.
That was amazing because to know then
what she became,
when you hear her or you know, that's okay. You know, the Falcon. It's like, well, that's her.
What do we
that's
do all the time when we go to
about.
Galaxy's Edge? We go, hey, L3, what's up? Girl?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what
now
I mean?
we know
every
it,
time
like,
I have a selfie with L3 and Falcon. Yeah.
Right. That's such a great
and Lando's reaction to that too.
Yes.
I mean,
oh yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah.
And then again, not only did that play, but then that put Han in the cockpit, in the driver's seat. He waited. He even respectfully waited. And as Lando's pulling her and just holding half her body, you get it was literally a handoff to Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
You know,
that's how important she was to him. That would for a droid to let him fool around with his ship to deal with her. It wasn't just a droid, you know.
Correct. So it was because when it happens in the movie and you're like, oh wow, and that's cool.
Right.
Now when you keep rewatching it, that's when it keeps
man.
You know, coming out even more.
And knowing that it's coming up,
that was so important.
Yeah, knowing it's coming up, and like I said, what it means going forward. It's like it's hard to watch, but at the same time, it needed to happen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. And then my number 1 is just really funny because I'm with you as far as being a kid. So mine's the opposite though. the death of Uncle Owen and Aunt Marie.
Yeah, man.
I never ever knew until adult years, maybe even a few years before you guys, that they were laying there burned to skeletons.
The skeletons? Right.
I never saw that.
Really?
I never ever did. And now it pops out like a sore thumb to me. I always saw smoke.
Right.
I never noticed that it was their body smoking.
Right. One's face
on
down,
the ground.
one's like again, and as a horror fan, you know, I noticed these things.
Yeah, see, I didn't. So as a kid, I kind of, I don't know, I guess like just blocked that out.
Right.
I'm about to hand in my nerd card here. Whenever I talked to Julie about the show Friends, there's that episode where Phoebe, her mom, edits all the movies she watches as a kid. So she never knew that Old Yeller died. She never knew that she would always stop the movies before something tragic would happen. So is that what happened? Did your mom always like cut it out?
No, I literally never saw it that way, like ever, until somebody had mentioned it. And I literally went home and was like,
here's
are you
my nerd
serious?
card. Here's
Yeah.
my nerd card.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said friend.
You
Give
know,
it to me.
when you like kind of like shut up about something when you hear in conversation because you honestly don't know, and you're like, how do I not know that?
Right.
And then you run in and you see it. It's like that clip from Friday, where I never knew that there was another dude laying in bed with her when she's yelling at Ice Cube. And she's like, I can't believe you're cheating on me. And that freaks people out to this day too.
Right.
You're like, no, there's another guy laying in bed with her as she's yelling at him.
Yeah.
And when you rewatch it, you're like, he sticks out.
Yeah.
You're like, holy crap, I never knew that.
Gordon said you just suppressed that memory. Too much.
I guess
too
so,
traumatized.
like for reals, because like not until now it sticks out. I never saw that that's what it was. I saw the smoke
it's
and
funny
the faraway shot.
because I remember someone doing a action figure of those. Years ago, like 1995, 96.
Carded.
Yeah.
Oh, and
It
there's
still
another one.
pops up. It still pops up on
does.
memes all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know I just laughed at that? I didn't know it was.
Wow.
I didn't look at it as like that either. I'm talking like this was like, we're talking last 10 years here.
Right. Hey,
That I actually knew that happened.
I think that's
awesome.
I think that's actually pretty cool. That even though, like even that kind of scene is kind of like almost iconic, right? Seeing Uncle Owen Emperor, and there's memes, there's jokes, there's all that stuff. I think that discovering it still to this day is awesome. Like there's still things in Star Wars that not everybody can, has, seen Palpatine.
But
anyway,
here I'm the sick guy who had a pair of skeletons on his display where the little house is. So
Yeah.
I messed up.
Sick.
I know what's
Awesome.
wrong with me.
Yeah, I see. So those are my three of just.
No, that's cool, man. I like that.
Love it.
Emperor and Uncle Owen was definitely on my list because
That was good.
it is a catalyst that propels Luke Skywalker's fate, man. It really is.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
I have nothing to be here for.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, so that sends them off.
Literally. Yeah.
Right.
All right, Chris, you're up. You got visuals?
Yeah. Hold up.
All right.
Oh boy.
And when you can see it,
There we go.
I can seize it.
you can see my top. Hey, look! I used the same picture I did from the last one because it still fit. I didn't use this one, but it could still fit. All right. So
Hilarious.
Luke. So I'm gonna say right now when we get to the honorable mentions, 'cause I'm just gonna roll into my honorable since
Okay.
everybody's went.
Yeah. Do that.
You guys ripped off my top, so forget it.
It's
whatever.
gonna happen, right?
So Luke in The Last Jedi for all the obvious reasons, right? And I think he just went out the way Luke should go out. Self-sacrifice, the way he did it and didn't have to hurt Ben to do it.
Right.
Got to say goodbye to Leia, got to say goodbye to 3PO.
Right.
The deal with the Han handoff and nobody's really, I mean, just everything about the lead up to it. And him walking out there like a badass and seeing everybody else behind him and being the spark that everybody needed.
Yeah.
That was massive. Forget the poetry in the way that he died on Octo, which is awesome.
Correct.
Right. But just he walked out there like a warrior, dude, and getting Kylo all worked up with more, just
right.
They're blasting him with
magic.
Yes. And I know you hate it, but the is awesome, Marco.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I love it.
Oh, I thought you hated that.
No.
It's like a martial arts master right there.
No, I love that. Brush that off. What do you got now?
Yeah, no,
so
like I said, Luke Skywalker in the sequels to me, and I know people in chat don't like. I love him. I love him in the sequels.
Yeah, me too.
Everything he did.
Now, I think one of the things that people don't notice that is wild, and like you mentioned, Ernie, I think we saw it pretty early, but people didn't on Octo. We should have noticed Luke was not there because anytime he ran and slid, nothing ever moved.
You go back and watch it.
Right.
Right. It was just so neat. We didn't notice that at first.
I never noticed at all until you get the reveal. That's cool.
Yeah, then you go back and you're like, oh man, nothing's moving. I should have really seen that. I just thought it was really, really well done.
When he moved his foot across the deck, no, it didn't expose red sand. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah.
Love
way,
it, man.
way later, but it was like, oh yeah, that was dope.
Right.
All right.
Good
Next
choice.
one, nobody said this one. Shmi.
Yeah, that's
that's kind of a catalyst for the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah,
this
is another key point.
Very true.
This starts the whole
key point, I think.
Yeah, right. This is what starts all of it for Anakin and the whole Skywalker family and Darkseid and everything. So big deal. And then
even got Qui-Gon to chime in.
That's when you hear it's big enough of an event to bring Qui-Gon back from the dead.
Dude, I got goosebumps again, man. This is great.
Yeah. So
I'm such a dick. I don't.
It's an Attack of the Clones, so no.
Come on, man.
It can't have such a meaningful event happen. Get out of here. And number one, look at this, Scott.
Yeah,
Oh,
see?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Kanan,
No
man.
doubt. No doubt, man. Now, Rebels came through with the deaths, and this one was just incredible. And like we talked about, Kanan made my short list of top Jedi ever.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. Yeah.
And it's mostly because of this moment.
Yeah.
It's just so incredible. Such a sacrifice, like Luke, like Kenobi, like, when they give up themselves for everything. I know they always say they'll sacrifice themselves, right? And a lot of them died fighting. These guys aren't fighting for themselves. They're fighting for other people.
Right.
And that's what's incredible. So
because he was
Kanan for the win.
Kanan was just surviving.
Yeah.
And Ezra came into
For a
his
while.
life and he did this ultimate Jedi thing that was he trained on it? I don't know. Remember, because his training was cut short, right?
He wasn't when he was like 12.
Right. So he just got the idea of a Jedi and a Jedi's purpose. It's fantastic. Kanan is by far one of the best things to come out of the new Disney.
100%. I do wish they do a live action. Freddie Prinze Jr. could pull it off. I mean, the voice obviously it may not look exactly like him, but who would in Rebels, right?
He's very close.
Yeah, close enough. I'm
Correct.
good. Bring him in, man. I mean, just do some kind of prequel. I know he's dead now, but it'd be a cool one-off six episode series of Kanan doing shit. I'd be cool.
Mm.
And then so we'll just jump into the honorables here.
Sure.
Nanta. For you, Marco. So
there you go.
That was coming.
Man, thank you.
99 in Clone Wars. If you didn't cry, you don't have a heart. I mean, that's just jacked up, right?
Yeah.
So, and then Thrawn in Last Command killed by Rook.
There you go. So,
So when you're reading that, and you're like, really? That just ended. This trilogy was it. That's all I get of this guy.
Right.
That sucked when you were younger. And Asajj in Dark Disciple.
That was good.
It was really emotional, and the way it was produced and her whole death and her sacrificing her, completely sacrificing herself to save Quinlan, into Dooku's lightning, and then him putting her to rest on Dathomir. Just a great story.
Yeah.
And that's definitely some now. As we were sitting here, I'm thinking Django was awesome, right?
I thought Django was on my short list. Yeah.
There were so many great deaths, but there were also a couple of shitty deaths.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, we don't talk about Chewie
getting killed by the moon.
And
that drove me out of Legends. I stopped reading after I read one more book after that, and they got another character to basically take Chewie's place. And I'm like, see, they can't make Han work without a sidekick.
Exactly.
And it didn't work.
Nope. Right. So that one's horrible, and then Padme dying from sad face.
Sad face,
horrible. She could have died any other way. She could have just died in childbirth. Right. I know it would have seemed kind of violent, but honest to God, Anakin just slaughtered a bunch of kids. Right. We just saw him literally burning and cut in pieces. I think we could have handled off screen.
I agree.
Oh, she didn't make it.
Yeah, I not 100% agree that that was probably the worst excuse of a death and the death itself.
For a character that they spent so much time again making a strong female character for people to look up to have her go out like that.
Very true.
It didn't make sense. It just felt like a cop out. I felt like her character deserved more.
Right.
Yeah, I 100%. And if they made her so like the Queen's Peril books are kind of helping everything.
Right.
Those are the only books, the only thing in so far in any canon that's fixed it, because the movies didn't do her any good. Clone Wars sure as hell didn't do any good.
Nope.
But the books are helping.
Cool.
The books are helping.
I'm gonna go right into my honorable mention, and Mando Mike actually mentioned this, and it's the entire cast of Rogue One. I mean,
yeah.
At first, I was like,
one.
K2SO was on one of my short lists, but again that movie, just the movie deaths and that entire, it's hard to pinpoint from Saul Guerrera all the way to Jin. It's just
the minute K2 goes, you know what's coming next.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, here we go.
And it's one after another, and it was
even Krennic, the bad guy, had a dope death, right? The Death Star aiming right at him. Dude, it's not like at your planet, at you.
Yeah,
right. I think. Like
that was Tarkin just being a dick.
It was.
Right.
It really was.
Hey, how good can you aim this thing? I can see Krennic's nose.
Do it there. Yeah, because the explosion really missed its mark. I mean, really.
The top of the tower, right where he was. Come on.
Yep.
Tarkin.
So that's my honorable. But I mean, I had Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru on my honorable. But
I had I had
go for
Princess
it,
Leia. I had Princess Leia.
Yeah,
Because I felt like, number one, it was the catalyst of that moment where Ben came back. It was that she
held
gave
on to
herself
that last
over.
moment, yeah.
To bring him back to the light. And it just, I felt like it, the reason it's not on the list is because I felt like it had to happen.
Right. You
It
totally
wasn't
saw
a
it coming.
shock.
Totally saw it coming.
Yeah. I mean, they projected that.
It was telegraphed. Yeah, big time.
The book went back and kind of explained that it wasn't just that the getting blown out into space and pulling herself back in used so much of her, took so many years off of her life. That's why she died young, and which helped in the book. But again, you shouldn't have. I love reading the books, but you shouldn't have to get the full story by reading a book and watching a movie. It just
But I picked that up. You know what I mean? Without the book, it didn't bother me.
I didn't until I read the book. I'm like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. But it just the kind of it just happened moment. It that's why it went from one of the top 3 to being an honorable mention.
Yeah, again, Chewie's reaction was
yes.
Brandon
Yes.
it said Jango Fett. We did mention Jango Fett. And
yeah,
I think I've told this story before. I knew that death was coming because of the toys. That I shook the toy and his freaking head was laying. I go, I got a broken Jango Fett, and I looked under. It's a magnet, and I'm like, fantastic.
I love how subtle it was because again, not everybody still sees that shadow coming out because he chops his head off, and the shadow of his head was flying the opposite direction.
It sure as hell does.
It's good stuff. I mean, it's like I know Bo was holding. Everybody wants to see the head drop out. About no, it flew off like 12 feet away.
Yeah,
correct.
So somebody's walking around kicking Jango Fett's head around, and you would have to think the clones would have noticed.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, right?
But you're gonna see one of your buddies with his head chopped off because it's gonna look like them.
That's me.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Dad.
All right, Joey, go for it.
Okay, my honorable mention is Snoke. I got 4 of them.
Snoke's good.
Snoke was shocking.
Good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon's death.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's death and IG-11.
Nice. The IG-11 was great.
You're
I was
right,
wondering
dude.
why none of us said Obi-Wan, and I was shocked by that.
Because
it's almost
seems so
automatic.
obvious.
yes, that's
Automatic.
exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted because we've beaten that horse so much.
Yeah.
But it's
I even
almost
had
like
it
a
on
given.
the cover, knowing it fit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to pick it because everybody's going to pick it.
And it's a given, right?
Yeah.
It's a given. Like someone asks, "What's your favorite movie?" Oh, my favorite movie is Rocky IV. Not Star Wars. No, dude, it's given. Star Wars is like, my next. Yeah.
Like Rocky IV was a push. I mean, wow.
I meant to say the second one.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks.
Second
No,
one.
Rocky IV was great. I just actually
Rocky IV was
rewatched
good,
that
actually.
and then thought to myself, Rocky IV is a huge music video.
Yes.
80s
There was
video.
so
It's got
much,
the best soundtrack ever.
yeah, and all of this is music.
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
talks like 3 times, you want to fight?
Yeah.
Do it. And then into the next song. And they play the whole
Yep.
song.
Whole song, yeah.
If he dies.
Like-
It's a training montage movie.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But like even not that, it was everything. I'm like, dude, this is just like one long music video.
It's a great.
So
That's
this
all
has
it is.
been Balboa, the All Rocky Star podcast.
Yeah, I'm
right.
impressed. I'm good.
Right.
the
Yeah.
title is if he dies, he dies. That should be the.
There you go. Yes. Go.
All right, Ernie,
If he
you did.
dies, he dies.
I think Ernie did honorable mention. Did you, or you had some more?
Well, my other one was exactly like Scott's, the death of Kylo Ren.
Okay.
That was a huge point. I mean, if you didn't take it as that,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, from now we get the, like you had even said in the beginning, Han coming back, and
Right.
it's exactly what he said before.
Mhm.
Now it's at the correct point for it to happen, and he hears that, and then that allowed him to do that. But then that also allowed Leia to let go. But because he became Ben,
Yeah.
I wish we could have had more of Ben. I really wish they didn't kill him off by him sharing his power or whatever.
The
Right.
5 minutes he gave us of fighting were badass.
That's what I was going to say.
Incredible.
Because
yeah.
my whole favorite part was when he sees the Knights of Ren and he does the bow.
Yeah,
That
me
is
too.
so
I love it. Love
He's
it.
like,
awesome.
F
Let's
it.
dance.
Let's go.
Yeah. You want to dance?
With the solo shrug too.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you want to do it. Yeah.
And then the reaching for the saber
Yep.
Mhm.
of just knowing that it was there and bringing it out. That was I wish we would have had more of Ben.
The way he acted, it was like we finally had Han Solo dueling with a lightsaber.
Correct.
His personality came out. He was the kind of cocky, I'm gonna do this,
Right.
you know.
And the whole sliding, I don't know why I love to see him slide so much. If it was Kylo Ren on the ship, and when he slid in and he sees Rey,
Right. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it
how
was
does nobody
mirrored.
ever catch that? And then
It was
when he
mirrored
slides
like
in
it was
again-
in Last Jedi, because he did that slide in the Last Jedi too.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And then you
Yeah.
get his slide again. I don't know. I love him sliding.
I mean, he had to die because what would life be like for him if he didn't?
Oh,
I would like to have seen that. I do.
he
I
didn't
have
have
to
on.
deal with it.
Because they say this was our Skywalker saga ending. If he's Ben Solo, he's not Ben Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
We could have went on to see what Ben Solo would have been like, trying to have some type of redemption for being Kylo Ren.
I rather it would not said the end of the Skywalker saga, because to me he's a Skywalker. Skywalker blood through and through. So I would have argued it to the end of days about that. But
I love both.
I would have rather seen him. I would have rather seen more of him as Ben too, fighting something else. I would have dug that for sure.
Because he would be hunted down as a
War criminal,
right?
Or he just comes back. They put him on Octo or somewhere else to meditate and learn the Force and take his Barrage vow. You know, he was a Jedi. It's what they do.
I would have liked him to see him more right his wrongs.
Right.
More. He knows what he did. He knows he was a dick.
I think
he knows. You know what I mean. So
I think basically him dying and doing that last sacrifice. I think that's the only way people would accept his redemption.
Just like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
If
but what's
Darth
going to
Vader
happen
would
with?
have lived?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, if Darth Vader would have lived, he would not. Here's the ghoul of the universe, the right-hand man of the Emperor. If he would have lived, it would not have gone well.
Being related to him screwed up Leia's career.
Correct. Correct.
Right, in Bloodline, not even being him.
When it came out that she was
mess.
Anakin's daughter.
Yeah.
Then how are we going to explain Revan when they bring Revan in?
How are they going to explain him?
Well,
I never read it, so
being
I don't know.
redeemed.
Well,
right, like
the thing is, he basically was on the side of power, and so when the Sith were ruling, he was the main Sith. When the Jedi were ruling, he was like the main Jedi. So
that's what I mean, though.
Yeah,
you change how that's accepted. You're gonna have to. There has to be acceptance elsewhere.
But he also,
Yeah, but, I mean, you're the main Sith. Vader wasn't even the main Sith.
Correct. Yeah, it's like Palpatine saying, saying like, all right, guys, I'm back. We could do the council now. I had my fun. We bring back the cake and cookies. I'm good. I'm good. I got it out of my system.
We're straight.
I got it out of my system. No more for me.
My days are numbered.
Okay, it was a joke.
Yeah.
I had some good talks with people where we've straightened some things out.
You know,
I some meds.
Again, why I would love so much to see a young Ben Solo in the academy.
Well, hopefully we do get that. You know, like
right. That's what I'm saying. I want to see it so much because of before he turned bad. You just gotta imagine of him having so much of Han in him.
Yeah.
But yet, like you said, the Skywalker blood still in him. Like the way he must have acted. He has to. You know what I mean? You just have this kind of concept of the things that he did.
Right. Right.
I think they're just waiting for the kid from Stranger Things to fill out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then have him take it. I'm so for it.
Disney Plus and Rocket. Just go for it.
I agree with that.
I'm so for it.
Oh my goodness. The one thing before we close out here, the Mandalorian had some really good deaths, and like Joey mentioned, IG-11, and then Mando Mike mentioned Bib Fortuna.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was a sad death.
I think Quills is important too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was some good stuff.
And then Cliff mentioned Biggs
and Porkins.
The only thing about those deaths, I didn't get a chance to really know those characters, like Wedge. Right? If Wedge died in Return of the Jedi, then that's a name that we saw maybe not as like main familiar, but it was like, oh man, Wedge died. But in the first one's like Biggs, yeah, that's cool.
You know, we didn't mention, which must not be a big deal, was Akbar.
Well, somebody mentioned in chat as the meaningless death.
Yeah, I think that was Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon said Akbar was the most meaningless death.
Yeah.
Now, how about Tarkins?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because that's a big deal.
Again, because that's what we grew up with. We didn't question it. It was Star Wars. and it
Blew up
just
the
kind
Death
of like
Star, killed a million people. It's like all of it combined. Tarkin's death was pretty massive.
Yeah.
Well, again, going back to Mandalorian, that's when they really bring it home. When we get the kerosene of you guys killed thousands, and it's like, you kind of think that after as you're an adult. I mean, here you are as a kid in the theater. Yay!
Yeah.
They just killed everybody.
Exactly.
That's my whole thing about Luke's PTSD. There's no way you kill millions of people, and then walk away from it and be like, it's cool. Yeah, high fives. And not think about it tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. So to get it mentioned, and like I've always said, that's a good scene because you see it from the other side.
Right.
That's how they feel in the Empire. What you guys did was you killed us.
Right.
Think back as Jedi, how many actual people did they kill? It was mostly droids, right? For the most part.
Oh, in that war, yes.
During that war, Luke killed more people with that one shot than the probably Clone Wars killed people.
Oh yeah.
It's nutty. People besides clones.
Yeah.
Well,
I know we have personality.
They changed Han's dialogue. Han's dialogue was actually, "Whoa, you killed 1 million people, kid!" Not
1 in a million.
It wasn't 1 million
people, kid.
You killed 1 million people, kid.
That is funny.
That's exactly how it goes down.
Awesome. So going back to that Biggs real fast, like how I didn't marinate with me is be prior to the cutscenes that we had Biggs like put an actual character, but
because before we got the special editions, Biggs was just that random guy that was. Oh, hey, that's that guy that he mentions.
Correct.
But with the added scene, that really added an extra punch to it that I enjoyed. As much as I love the theatrical releases of the movies, there are some added benefits to the special editions.
There's very few.
Yeah, but that's a good one.
Right, yeah.
We didn't mention Jabba's death or the Rancor's death. Those were both awesome.
Jabba's death.
Paige Tico. So Brandon in chat mentioned Paige Tico. She was pretty. It was a pretty dramatic death to open up the movie.
It was, but it does drive me nuts. Yeah. The reason it drives me nuts is the fall. It was too long to grab. Yeah. I'm like, she looks like this, and it's past her.
Yeah.
And then she whips her out. She's on her belly.
Where I'm like, okay, die already.
Yeah.
Like it just took too long, dude.
Somebody else hit the button.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, God.
She's got really long arms. Come on, guys.
It was wild.
She's got Arsing fingers.
Right. But I like that scene. That's the thing. I like the scene. It was just that moment. It was like
maybe she used the Force to grab it.
Yeah, it was a couple of beats too long.
Yeah, well,
that's exactly what it was. Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
All right, cool guys. We're out of time, but that was a good talk. I mean, the discovering that talking about deaths in Star Wars is a lot more meaningful. It's not just that was a cool explosion. That was a cool explosion. His death was dramatic. I'll end with this. The most ridiculous death was Aayla Secure. Ridiculous. Like
when she got blasted.
Yeah, she got blasted and how she felt. It was horrible.
Her arms were already up in the air before she got shot.
No, exactly. So,
and Coyote Money's was ruthless, right? I mean,
they
were all ruthless, but it was just
got blasted.
Plo Koon's was awful. Yeah. He's got his wingman on him, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, and any of Shock T's.
Yeah,
right. Any
one of them. But especially after you get to know Plo Koon and little baby Ahsoka and the Clone Wars, then you watch Revenge of the Sith, and it's like.
He got
come on.
Yeah,
come on, man.
That's a character that really got some attention.
He was killed dirty. He was killed dirty.
Yeah, he was.
It was also cool to see Yoda turn it around and not get killed and kill all them.
Right.
That's right.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Chewbacca's like, "Who pissed you off?"
Whoa.
No question, though, right? They're total loyal. They're like, oh, he must have needed to do that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
They hadn't even drawn their guns really yet. Nobody would have noticed. He just, okay.
Right.
That's always
seriously, what's going through their heads? They turn around and see Yoda just decapitate them both. They're like,
that's what I'm saying.
Should we join them? Should we join them?
You don't say anything. Okay. You need a ship? We got one. We definitely got an escape pod. Let's get you out of here.
Yeah. Nobody saw a thing. Let's go.
Right.
Oh, shit. Where did the escape pod come from?
Brandon
That's what I'm saying. You found
it. It just happened to be right there.
Brandon Epler just said this was This has been a great depressing talk, everyone. LOL.
Yeah.
And then he said, just remember Greedo shot first. So yeah, I think we have to fire Brandon now. But he did come back and say
that was one of the things of the special edition that was bad.
Yes.
But yeah, so Greedo's death sucks now, but it was cool.
Right. All right, cool guys. Everybody in the pit, thank you so much. This was a great talk. Again, join us for May 4th trivia, the social, Victorville, California. If you're
Apple
in
Valley, California.
Apple Valley, California. That's what I said. That's what I said. Booty trap. Actually, don't listen to me. Just look at look at the flyer that Scott made. Palpatine. I hate you guys. I really do.
You don't.
No.
McClunky.
Yeah. So.
Oh, again, wait. Eric Aranya just got back with me. Corpsey. The Ewok's name that he Corpsey.
That he dubbed Corpsey.
Ewok.
Corpsey.
There we go.
Awesome.
Right on time, Eric.
That's awesome. Let's get out of here. Scott, where can we find you?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Art of Scott Solo, with all those underscores that Chris loves between each word. And you can find us also in our group, the Sarlacc Digest Central, your home for Star Wars Talk or Star Wars News and Line Talk.
Awesome. Chris, friends, Mr. Del Rey Books, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm a famous book reviewer.
Chris Del Rey, friends.
My middle name is Ray.
Well, there we go.
Legitimately.
Well,
so
we need to change it to Del.
So now we can steal your identity. We know everything. Okay.
Chris the Ray Franz. Yes.
There you go.
You can find me on all the Sarlacc socials. That's pretty much everywhere I am. Or the Hot Topic podcast on Instagram.
Nice. And a book review coming soon.
Woohoo! On the 20th.
On the 20th, when the NDA is lifted. That's so cool to say.
I know. I have an
official cease and desist order.
It's an embargo. to go with all my don't come within 100 feet restraining orders. Yes.
But those are for elementary schools. But anyway.
Whoa!
Bootleg Joe, where can we find you, bud?
We always end up with a show that we can put up on YouTube, and then it just goes.
This is why.
Right
there.
Yeah. I was good.
You were good.
Right. It wasn't you, Chris.
This time.
You can find me here at the Sarlacc Digest on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at bootlegjoe_760.
Awesome. And the Fallen Fat, take us away.
I forgot one notable.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Mention of a death. Fanboy Mike.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. brother. R.I.P.
Online.
Right.
Well, let's just we'll do it right, so I don't feel so bad. His online presence death.
Right, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But we like when he materializes and is able to jump on with us.
Exactly.
When he does come on, we need to do the edit to make him look like a Force ghost.
That'd be so cool.
Whenever he shows up.
Awesome.
Mando Mike just popped into our chat and said that as soon as we're done here, he's going to go live in the Sarlacc Digest group with his new project that he's been building.
Awesome.
It's apparently it weighs as much as like a couch, so it should be pretty interesting.
In the
Star Wars related.
Is it a sectional? Is it a sofa? Is it a love seat? What kind of couch are we talking?
Let's just say that it's very relevant to the name of our group.
Whoa.
Hey.
There's only one way to find out. Go to our
That's right.
Sarlacc Digest Central.
It's 100-pound Facebook.
Yes, Ernie, are you done?
No, where's he go? We don't know where to find him yet.
Yeah.
Yes. So here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m., guys, don't forget to join us here. Share with your friends. Tell everybody you can catch old episodes and other things. Yes, don't forget to, right after this, go to the Sarlacc Digest Central and check out what Mando Mike is doing. You can find me on with the Toy Migos every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with the Quickie Mini at 5 p.m. And then Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for our regular 2-hour podcast show where we talk everything toys that's like relevant, and it's your hour to get away from the world. And we had some Star Wars reveals over the weekend, so that was cool. So catch up there and hear about that, or the people that still like to argue that it's okay, we're getting really good toys. But I don't know. How did you feel about those, Scott?
It was a good wave.
Which ones, man? There's so many damn figures coming out.
The Asajj wave?
So that's out right now. So they showed over the weekend. We're getting Aura Singh.
Oh,
yes.
We're finishing
General
up with our Bad Batch crew.
Right.
So we get that, and then we get
Sasha Banks figure.
Yes, which is very cool from
General
the Mando.
Lando, which is cool.
See, and I would not go for the General
And
Lando.
Zero. Why? That's I mean,
Because like I think now we should get retro. Like we've been getting solid waves of people who we need and other characters. And then again, we get another Lando. I know we don't
But it's
have
one that we
Lando.
haven't.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And I know we don't, but then now we should get started getting retro waves. And we should still get more accessories.
well, I agree
We
with
should be
that.
getting
I
extra
agree with
hands and heads and everything.
Without paying $30 for
Hey,
like
exactly.
Mr. Fett here, who costs
Yes.
$30, and all I got, was a couple of little fire things to put out of
Yeah.
his.
Correct.
Did you
So-
mention now already that all the Black Series Marvel Legends are all $22.99 now instead of $19?
Yeah, see, they're going up. So the 22 is that. And I've seen other places already shoot them up to 24.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because, if that's the price, then they got to get their cut. So a lot of it's gone up to 24 now.
Right.
And then like Scott said, we get into deluxe that is just like, that should have been the figure that we
Correct. Oh,
should have got.
100%
Like
agree
regular.
on that. Yeah, at this point, Ernie, it's
Yep.
been like 5-6 years on this line, right? And I don't
Right.
know. They're not going to change.
It's hard.
It. So we're not getting a Build-A-Figure. And
But
Right.
but Target, I picked up the entire Saj Ventress wave yesterday, and they were all $19.99 a pop. So
Yes.
at retail, they're still not bad.
I
So
think
it's still
the Asajj wave is still $19.99, but the new one that just came out last week. Through the
This will be
Pulse event?
starting. Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
And then
Whatever.
also too, people are putting in pre-orders, and
Detail.
this is
I give
still
I'm out.
this is still 3 cases away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sasha Banks' character isn't even in that wave. It was
Mhm.
kind of just shown.
Oh, I got you.
So
got you,
people
got
were
you.
suspecting and putting out case orders, and that's not the way it's going. So again, we need a little bit more explanation from the Black Series team.
Yeah, we need some
Of
aliens,
what's
man.
going on.
That's the one
Oh.
thing I'm going to tote for is aliens, but yeah.
And don't get me started on the vintage collection where all we're getting are repacks.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. That's
That's it.
what I'm saying. See, at
Repacks.
this point of collecting, it's hard for people who've been on the train. But then, me and Scott understand that there's a point of growth,
Mhm.
and or what you pick and choose. Chris constantly is always just picking and choosing what he likes. He
Right.
doesn't go full.
Right.
Where me and Scott used to buy everything,
What do you
full
mean used to?
wave. Make sure we get to but now you
Yeah.
kind of pick and choose on what there is, and it's like
Yeah.
at the same time, why can't you grow with us? But
Yeah.
then you do have the collectors that will then like argue with me of, oh, you're just salty and you're just not
No,
able to know. And it's like, no, I've been doing this since I was a kid. Like,
we've got 3 whole movies that just came out in the last 5-6 years,
Right.
and we've got I think literal 10 maybe figures,
maybe
Yeah.
10,
come out
maybe
of
10. Right.
yeah, in the 3 3/4 inch. So yeah, it's
And Black Series
Now-
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
always
no,
feel
Black
like-
Series we've got a little bit more, but not many.
Right.
Not many.
I always
Do,
feel like
do you
they have
really
a-
think that's just because they just wanted to be done with that movie series? And
I
just
think so.
Be gone.
I don't. I think it's
Oh.
because they are lazy. I think if they can just keep regurgitating the same
Correct.
figure over and
Luke,
over and over again.
Boba, Vader. And that's what I'm saying.
Well-
See, we should be getting aliens,
Yeah,
droids,
I talked to,
movie characters.
Cliff- that's in
Hey, don't you think this is a matter though of years and years of them watching us and our paths and our trends? Because we're the same people that were buying it in the early '80s, the '90s, and
Right.
everything else.
Right.
And those characters are the ones that always sell, right? Luke's never not usually a peg warmer.
Right.
Vader's never a peg warmer.
Any
Fett's
original
never
trilogy-
a peg warmer.
Any original
Right.
trilogy will sell out big time.
But Lando can be a peg warmer.
He has
Hammerhead can be
been
a
in the
peg
past.
He has
warmer.
been.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
But
that's
we
the
haven't
thing.
in 6-inch. We haven't had, like Mando Mike's pointing out, Hammerhead, Walrus Man, the
None of
Cantina
them.
Band, Bib Fortuna.
Greedo's the only one.
Right.
None of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
And
just
even
did
at that,
Greedo, right?
Greedo was from the beginning.
Yeah,
Greedo that
Greedo
we're
was in
getting
the
now
first wave.
is a
Oh,
Kenner
that's
is a
right,
Kenner
that's right.
color.
Right.
Yeah.
So lots of people missed him. So I mean, this is what I'm saying is you're right as far as because of what we bought in the past, but they need to grow with us as well too.
They do.
Yeah.
They need to realize everything else that we buy or that we collect or that we even try out
Yeah.
and get people who are now new collectors or new into the game
Well,
to jump onto
that's
this.
why-
And that's hard.
That's why I when people get on the repackages or the resculpting, I'm okay with that because I am a middle of the road guy. Like I came into the Black Series right in the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I appreciate a new Qui-Gon that I just got. It's a great I appreciate the new Lando sculpt because again, I didn't get those in the past. I'm cool with those, and the way they did the archive line, right? Perfect. But I'm also caught up on basically the collection that I look at. I go, geez, there's a lot missing. There's Star Wars missing. A new Jabba the Hutt. A new, the Cantina aliens. Like, yeah, Scott.
Let's look at it like this. Look at what. Here we go. Marvel. Look at what Marvel Legends do. They have put out every freaking character known to mankind. I have a hard time thinking of a character they have not put out in a 6-inch figure line.
Right.
And you can go to Walmart right now. You can go to Target right now, and you can find them en masse in stock on a peg. Where you go over to Target and you see the same 3 Jar Jar Binks that are now on clearance.
Right.
Walmart's the same way. They've got the Jar Jar Binks, or they've got these little Galaxy of Adventures figures. It's just that's all that. For some reason, Star Wars, the biggest selling toy line in the world since G.I. Joe in the 80s, and they treat it like the sorry to all you redheaded stepchilds out there, but they treat it like a redheaded stepchild. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
And that's what my fight is in this all. So again, just a little taste. I wanted to bring that up to all of us because we all collect in different ways.
Right.
And so that's just a little taste of what goes over there.
No, it's funny.
I agree. They need to change.
You know what's funny is when I went to Walgreens to go get my vaccine, I went to the one over here on Red Rogers. And I went to go just to see what they have there in their toys. And they literally got the same figures for the last maybe 4 years.
Dude, 5 years. Those figures came out 5 years ago. We are coming up on the 5th anniversary of Rogue One.
It's Finn, Cassian, and Finn and Cassian.
They have the white box Ray at the one on.
Do they really?
Over on Amethyst, it always sneaks back out, but it's all ripped in the back. It's been the same one since the white boxes came out.
And it again, it's just like we could get more, and that's what I'm saying. You know,
I agree with you, but I also agree that general colorism is must. It's a must.
They're on the pegs and they sell. The minute I cleaned them out, Mando Mike and I cleaned them out over at Target yesterday, and they won't get another wave. They won't get another batch in.
No, they won't. They refuse.
That's it.
No.
My Asajj comes tomorrow. So
I know, that's excited. So cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good figure. Really good figure.
I still check on my pre-order.
And again, from Hasbro Pulse, waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Amazon had said June, and then it just popped up. I noticed today that it was going to be arriving tomorrow. Surprise.
Well, that's how I got my Quill. It's like I got Quill and Moff Gideon at the same time. He was in that wave. Moff Gideon is still June.
Today.
Yeah, Bo-Katan.
I got her in my hand, man. That is a
great figure, though, by the way. Great figure.
Look at the stand that she's standing on. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Stand right here.
Where'd you get that stand?
I need to grab some stands.
From Tashi Station Emporium.
Tashi Station Emporium.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Where is that place? I'm trying to find it.
We need a flyer pick to pimp that out.
Yeah, I've created the action figure stands, and they seem to work. You know, I put my entire collection on them, and I put them on for sale now, and it's taken off. So I'm really proud of them. I know that Gordon got some, Mando Mike's got some. I know Scott, and I have to meet up with the rest of the Sarlacc guys to give their stands, and it's been fun. I actually am enjoying work for once in life. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying it. You know, I've been 3D printing for a long time, and it's just something that I was like, wow, I can make money out of that. It's pretty cool. But
that is pretty cool.
With that, I think we're done, guys. Thank you, everybody in the pit being digested. Until next week, we will. Huh?
That got dark.
Yeah, they're being digested. That
got dark. Let's rethink the tagline.
Okay. But we'll go with that.
Thank you, everybody, for jumping in the pit with us tonight.
There we go.
Let's figure something out. We'll get something.
It was our jump in line with us because we line talked in movies and everything that it was. And now that we have this, the Sarlacc pit, of course, and Boba jumped inside the pit. So
we'll say he jumped in. Yeah, sure. Boba
voluntarily.
A blind guy did not hit him, and he flew on a mishap.
It was a strategy.
Did not happen.
It was tactics. He was hiding.
It was.
I get it.
Correct. Yeah. He knew what was going on the barge, and he had to get away.
Marco's been trying to end this podcast for a half hour now.
I'm like
18 minutes, but it's all right.
He got his vaccine. He's feeling terrible.
Yeah, I'm really like about to pass out. By the way.
All right, let's check it out. Let's go.
Next week, no Marco on the show. What happened? We don't want to talk about it.
Awesome. Again, everybody in the pit, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Scott.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.